Before your next cruise, there are a few things that you should know that cruise lines don't exactly advertise. Some of them can cost you money, some can make your cruise more stressful, and some are the kind of insider tips that experienced cruisers swear by. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, have you ever been on a cruise and thought somewhere around day 6 of a 7-day cruise, why didn't somebody tell me this before? Or maybe you are going on your first cruise. Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing some insider secrets, some things that only pro cruisers know. And even that, there are a couple of little known things that I would bet only travel agents know. Well, I am going to share them with you in this video. And once again, these are things that cruise lines don't exactly mention or advertise. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Now, I do have this video divided up into categories, but I have to say, I've got a couple towards the end. Very important. I didn't even know where to put them. But once you hear it, you will know why. All right, let's start off with an important one, the money-saving secrets that you need to know. Cruise fares can drop after you book your cruise. Now, if you're an experienced cruiser, I know that you've heard this 100 times over, but every time I share a video like this and I mention it, I always get many comments of people who say that right after they watched their video, they actually checked online or called their travel agent or called the cruise line and they were able to get a reduction in their price. So typically what happens is when you pay your deposit well in advance of your cruise, if the price goes down before your final payment, the cruise line will almost always honor that and give you the discount or upgrade your cabin. Number 2, the pre-cruise hotel money-saving trick. Now, if you've ever wondered about a good recommendation for a hotel for before your cruise or after your cruise and have not known where is it a good place to stay, so I'm going to tell you what the trick is. Now, most cruise lines are going to sell hotel packages for before or after the cruise, and you can definitely book these. There are some advantages, but you may want to book them on your own. But how do you know what are the hotels? Well, what you can simply do is you can call up the cruise line and you can ask about their hotel packages. And usually they're going to have 2 or 3 hotels per city and at different price ranges, by the way. But the advantage of these hotels, in my experience, is they are usually good hotels. They are usually going to be very safe hotels and in good locations, and oftentimes, not always, and oftentimes they're going to be hotels that offer a shuttle service to the port. Now, while you can definitely book this through the cruise line, you can save 20 to 30% or more by booking it on your own. Number 3, cruise sales aren't what they seem. And I wish this wasn't so, because of course you can still get some good deals and you can still get some good perks. But have you ever noticed that when you look at the prices of cruises and they have a 2-for-1 sale, that when you add up the total, it probably still is the same price as it was a few days ago? I actually had somebody talk to me about this and they said, Ilana, I see that the price on the cruise line website says that it's, let's just say for argument's sake, it was $3,000 per person. But they said the second person was half price. But then when I looked at the total, it was $6,000. So I had to explain that usually the price that you see, despite the fact that it will be announced that there's a sale, is that price that you see already has that sale calculated. So you really do have to take these marketing tactics with a grain of salt and always look at the bottom line. That being said, the one thing that has more value than a lot of people think are the different packages that are available or any extra perks like onboard credit, gratuities, specialty dining, and more. Now, speaking of travel and saving money, I've been getting a lot of questions about Esims lately, and I think that this is something that cruise travelers really should know more about. Now, this is where Saily, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. If you're cruising in Europe, Asia, or another destination where your phone plan doesn't cover you well, or where roaming fees can be expensive, an Esim is a very affordable way to stay connected. It gives you reliable data on port days and during your pre- and post-cruise travel days without those high roaming charges. And since it's an eSIM, there's no need to deal with a physical SIM card. Now, Saily is easy to use, affordable, and convenient, especially if you're visiting more than one country, like I did on my last year's river cruise and Mediterranean cruise. Just download the app, pick a plan, and install the Esim once by following the instructions on the app. And by the way, with Saily, you don't have to install a new Esim for each country. It works automatically across ports on your trip. Saily is also backed by Nord Security with features like a VPN, ad blocking, and web protection. Now, I do have an awesome discount code for 15% off Saily data plans. Use LifeWellCruised at checkout or my exclusive link down below in the description of this video and pinned comment. You might be allowed to bring soda or wine on your cruise, but it might cost you more than you think. When you bring your wine to a dining room or a restaurant, you are going to have a corkage fee. And in my experience, it can be as much as $40 with the service fee. Now, there are actually some cruise lines now that, realizing that people might drink it in their cabin or fill up a glass, that they'll actually charge you a corkage fee just for bringing that on. So before you go and do this, make sure that you check your specific cruise line policy. Cruise port shopping guides might be getting a kickback. Now, if you've gone on a cruise before, or if you're going to be going on a cruise, then what happens on a lot of major cruise lines is there will be port talks and shopping talks so that people who are curious to know, what should I buy when I'm in port? What are the best souvenirs? Things like that, the most recommended stores. Well, there is actually a business relationship between either the cruise line and those stores, or the company that is hiring those port shopping talk guides. Now, this doesn't mean that those recommended stores are not genuinely good. Just remember that the advice and recommendations are not unbiased. The crew on a cruise ship are really helpful. Now, of course, cruise lines are not hiding this from you, but we don't know all of the different things that the various people who work on a cruise ship can do to help us have a better vacation. Now, let's start first with the dining. The maitre d' can actually be almost like your best friend. Now, what do I mean? Maybe you want a table in a certain section, or you have some dining requests. Perhaps you are vegan, or you are gluten-free, or you have some allergies. The maitre d' is actually the person who's going to be very helpful with this. And by the way, if you're seated at a table that you don't like that much, after your meal, let the maitre d' know so that they can make a change for the next evening. Guest services can be more helpful than you think. Now, guest services are definitely more than a complaint department. And a lot of experienced cruisers do know that if they simply ask at guest services, sometimes they are able to get more help than they expected. Now, I will give you an example. Recently, there was a reader on my Facebook page that shared that she actually had some luggage that broke due to the airline, and they simply went to guest services and they asked if there was some duct tape or something that could be done because, their luggage was damaged. And guest services told them to bring the luggage over, that they would check and see what they could do. Did you know they were able to do a small repair and returned it to the guests without charge? Currency exchange and money withdrawal. Now, many cruise ships have a little bit of a bank on the cruise ship. So if you do need to withdraw some money to have cash from your credit card, or if you need some currency exchange, they can do this. Now, there is going to be a fee. When I withdrew some money, it was 3% on a past cruise, but for the amount of money that I was withdrawing, it really was a minimal charge. Dining secrets that experienced cruisers know and use. You can ask for off-menu items. Now, of course, you cannot expect these things because it doesn't always happen. But if you go the first night of the cruise, as an example, and you have, let's say, shrimp cocktail or escargot, and you just love it, let the waiter know. And again, you can let the maitre d' know how much you loved it. And oftentimes they'll actually offer to have it for you for other nights during the cruise. And of course, if they don't offer, you can always ask. Now, beyond just those items, there are items that are not necessarily on the menu, including fruit plates and cheese plates, and even sometimes chicken noodle soup or some Indian dishes. So if there's something that you have in mind, just ask. Now, I do have a couple more, and I am going to share with you my favorite tip that I have been using lately, and a lot of experienced cruisers do use this. But first, I just want to share a couple of quick tricks. When it comes to the photographer, if you don't want to take professional photos, maybe you don't have a package, take a look at where that professional photographer is taking their photos. And sometimes it is on a very elegant staircase. So just scope out that spot, and another night or another day when that photographer isn't there, set up your own tripod and take your own photo. There is no rush to get off the cruise ship. Well, actually, there still is a little bit of a rush, but not as much of a rush as cruise lines have you think. Now, oftentimes you are going to get luggage tags to use to disembark from the cruise ship if you put your luggage outside of your cabin for disembarkation day. However, you don't have to actually get off when they call your luggage tag number. You can stay on the ship longer. And of course, you can also keep your luggage and disembark with it if you like. Now, something that we've been doing lately is simply waiting until about 9 or 9:30 or even a little bit later, until like last call, till we get off the cruise ship. We relax, we sit at the buffet, we have some breakfast, we have some coffee, and we really avoid that rush. And of course, we only do this when we have time before our flight. Now, I am curious for disembarkation if this is something that you do or if you like to get off as soon as possible. All right, now this one could be a little bit controversial, but cruise lines can confine people to their cabin. Now, I'm not talking about quarantining people. That can still happen if somebody is really ill with something quite contagious, but most of the time that is not actually happening. What is happening, though, sometimes is if people are very unruly, and you might have seen some of those viral videos, but people will be confined to their cabin and they actually have like a security guard or a crew member that has to sit right outside their door. So if you see a crew member just sitting on a chair in the hallway, you know why. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Bye for now and happy cruising.